Hi everyone, this is going to be a reconstruction of Yiheng Wang's recent 4.91 Asian record average. This is the world's third ever official sub 5 average. He's only like 9 years old, so very crazy. So this is the first scramble. The solve was a 4.78, and he begins on white cross, so he starts with a Z2 Y. So he starts with orange front, yellow top. Two cross pieces are already solved relative to each other. Orange is one move away from being solved as well. He notices this edge in the back as well, so he notices the corners here. So the way he solves cross is pretty unique. He does R2 to solve this. He sees this corner ends up here, which is the one that he wants to solve in the back. He does F, U2, F prime, which inserts this corner, D prime to align the cross and solve this block. Here he doesn't just do R2, because that would give him not the best F12 afterwards. He does R prime, U prime, R, which does two things: solves a pair, and then also sets up a 3-mover. So he could go for either one right now. He decides to go for this pair, so he just does U2, insert in the back, and that also solves this pair. And to solve this, for some reason he rotates to the right to put the slots on the left, does U2, and then insert in the front. So he rotates back again, and then does U2 to put these two pieces in the front, and then just solves this in the standard way, which is L prime, U2, L, and then insert this pair. So for OLL, he gets, it's a pretty easy OLL. Yiheng here does pretty much inverse of Sexy Sledge. He does F, R prime, F prime, RU, and then insert this pair, which is RU, R prime. And then he's left with an A perm, which he just solves the normal alg. So this is scramble 2. He got a 4.70 on this. He starts with a weird orientation. Even though he starts on white cross, he starts with white front, blue top. And here he does a wide move, R prime, and then does a U prime. So after that, this piece is solved here, and he does L prime U to solve this corner, and then does L2 F prime, and that both puts this cross edge in, and then also solves this cross edge with a corner with this edge over here. After he does L prime R prime, he's got two opposite F12 pairs, one move away from being solved with a D prime. So from here he's got two F12 pairs left, and he goes for this one. So he takes this pair out, and then hides this corner here, sets it up into 3-mover into the back, and now he's just left with an easy double sexy for the last pair. For OLL, he does U prime, R prime, U prime, F prime, UFR, and then he's just left with an R prime, which he uses a different alg for. Let's just pretend to know that one. So this is the third scramble. For cross, he does first two moves he does is U prime, D prime. He does R, U prime next. That solves these two relative to each other. Okay, so pretty much from here he uses wide moves, but pretty much what he's doing, he just does L prime, F prime to move these, and then LD. And after this he goes into this being just a U2 and solves this pair. But what he does in the middle of that, he solves halfway and then cancels into this pair as well. So if he goes into straight into this, he just L2, that solves this pair, and then you can just insert this into the back as well. So from here he goes into blue red, and he does this pretty normally, just takes out this corner and joins it at the same time, rotates, inserts it. So now he has one pair in the back right, but he does this pair in an easy rotationless way, U2, and then takes out this corner in the back, and then just inserts into the back like that. He's left with L, which is just like that. And then here he has a GB perm, which he does with this algorithm. So that was 553.
Please submit your equipped submission
So for the fourth scramble, Yiheng got a 5.19. So on this scramble, first of all, there are a couple cross edges that are not too hard to solve. But the main thing is there's this pair, which Yiheng wants to preserve, XZ2. So he starts with this orientation with yellow front, green bottom. does a wide R first. That connects blue back here. And he does B, R prime, U prime. And then that pretty much solves these two. And if you notice, it's also solved the square here, which he will deal with later. But now he solves green with an F. And then this pair is already in the back, so he just cancels into solving it while doing this cross edge. So he does L prime, U prime, L prime. And that solves that in the back. So now he's got an X cross already, like every single solve he does. He solved this square earlier, and he has the edge that needs to be solved with it right here. So to solve this, he's going to do UD and just insert this as if it was an F2L pair in the back, like that. So now when he realigns cross, he solves that pair as well. He does a U prime from here, puts this pair over here, rotates, and does R, U2, R2, and then insert this, and then cancels kind of into solving this pair. He does an R2. He moves this corner into a good position for the next pair, which is with a U prime. So when he comes back down with an R prime, he can just go right into solving this pair, and he gets an easy case, which is just inverse sexy. And here he doesn't insert, he does a sledge because he wants to orient some edges. He wants to avoid the dot case. Here he has this case, he uses a lefty alg for this one. And from here he just has an R prime, and then a U prime AUF. That was a 5.19. So on this scramble, Yiheng gets a 4.75 to seal the sub 5 average. He just does a Z2 from scramble orientation, so he has white bottom, green front. The key things to note is that there's a pair in the back, one cross edge, one move from being solved, and these two in the front. So it's not a crazy cross, but he doesn't preserve this actually. What he's going to do is solve it as his first pair instead. So he just does basic F2 to put this cross edge here, U2 to put this here. To finish off the cross, just R2, and now you have 3 cross edges solved in relation to each other, and then D prime, R prime. And if you notice, that keeps this edge here, but that did break up that one pair that we had in the back, and the corner is now over here. And now he's going to do that as his first pair by doing DU, misaligning cross, puts the corner here, inserts it, and realigning cross, and he solved it into the back, no rotations. His next pair is orange-green. He takes his corner out and attaches it with the edge, and does a sledge here. What the sledge does is that it gives him a really nice case for this. If he just did this, he would have this kind of case, which isn't as good as what he gets when he does the sledge, which is a 3-mover. He just solves that into the back. From here, he rotates and then does this pair like this. He does R, U prime, R prime into a 3-mover, insert. Here, he gets the same OLA from the first solve and does the same alg, F, R prime, F prime, R, U prime, R prime. And here he has a J perm, a J A perm. For this case, he also does the lefty alg. So he does this, which is just a mirror of the normal J perm with a U2 AUF. So that was a 4.75. That seals his 4.91 Asian record average.